Good morning everyone at the Olive Tree Church. I hope you're well and you have enjoyed the fantastic summer that we've had. You may have made it to the beach, you might not have, but as my grandma would say, we all have our cross to bear. Now that's a very strange term or phrase, but she always held her own cross when she said it. So what does that mean, and why are there so many crosses? I mean, you've got the cross sign here, the addition sign looks a bit like a cross. So does a multiplication sign, like a cross but turned upside down. Well, not upside down, rotated slightly. Have you ever noticed that lots of flags in the country have some form of cross on their flag? Now that's all about representation. But I wonder if you can guess which ones these belong to. So there's a quiz. There'll be about as many flags as I can find, but no more than 10. And we'll see if you can tell where they are. So 3, 2, no cheating. 3, 2, 1. Well, I hope you had fun looking at all the flags and seeing if you could recognise which country they represent. Maybe you've been to a few of them. You may even live in one of them. That is extremely exciting. But back to you all have your own cross to bear. So sometimes in life things do go wrong, or you may be tempted and you may feel a little bit upset, a bit stressed. And I think from a child's point of view, that's what my grandmother was saying. We all have our own cross to bear. We all have our own problems, circumstances that we are going through. Now, Jesus also clearly had his own cross to bear, but he had to tell his friends, his disciples, that he had to do what he had to do and that they shouldn't try to dissuade him. So the reading is from Matthew chapter 16, from verses 22 onwards. So before this, Jesus had just told Peter that he was his rock and he was going to give him the keys to the kingdom. So Peter felt this special kinship with Jesus Christ. So when Jesus was telling him about the events of Easter, when he was going to die, Peter took Jesus aside and told him not to talk like that. He said, "God save you from those things, Lord. Those things will never happen to you." Then Jesus said to Peter, "Go away from me. You are not helping me. You don't care about the things of God, but only about the things people think are important." Then Jesus said to his followers, "If people want to follow me, they must give up the things they want. They must be willing even to give up their lives to follow me. Those who want to save their own lives will give up true life, and those who give up their lives for me will have true life. It is worth nothing to them to have the whole world if they lose their souls. They could never pay enough to buy back their souls. The Son of Man will come again with his Father's glory and all his angels, and at that time he will reward them for what they have done." So what Jesus is trying to say is don't be too consumed with all that glitters and all the gold that you find in the world, because your soul and who you are is much more valuable. But he didn't mention in this particular Bible translation. This is a youth Bible. He didn't actually mention the cross part. But what we're going to do is create our own cross. So what you'll need is some card, some crayons, and a pair of scissors. So I should also say that we'll need a pencil, but I don't have a pencil to hand at the moment, so I'm going to use a pen. Now, we are going to draw a cross. So it could be a fancy cross, it could be a standard cross, but we're just going to make sure that it's got the basic proportions of a cross. I have no idea if you can see this. Okay, there's my very, very basic cross, and looking quite uneven on the camera. And that doesn't matter, I can cut it out. Now, with your crayons, you're going to need to find a black one, which I might not even have a black one. What happened to my crayons? What's this? We'll go for indigo, because for some strange reason half my crayons have disappeared. How about that? So you want a dark colour on top, preferably black, but I'm going to go for this indigo, which looks like black. And with my lighter colours, so here are my lighter colours. I am going to kind of colour in any direction on my card. So my first layer is going to be a yellow one. So dropping that down. My second layer is going to be red. So this is what we call in the art world scrumpling. It is not scribbling. Scrumpling is an adequate way to colour something in, to put some texture in. Doesn't matter if you go over the line, because we can always cut it out. So there is my scrumpled cross. I also forgot to mention that you might need a toothpick. I'll have to find one of those. But with your dark colour, your dark crayon, what you want to do is very carefully and quite hard, you want to press down and colour over all the lovely colours that you've done. And there needs to be quite a thick layer with none of the colours showing through. Okay, as you can see, we've got a nice thick layer there. Now, because I don't have my toothpick, I'm going to use a broken hair grip. Bear with me. I don't have a broken hair grip, but I do have this piece of gold. So what you're going to do is you can scratch a design onto your cross. So you should be able to scratch it out. I'm not sure if you can see that. I think you can. And so you could do a little design. Or you could write words. Not sure if that's clear at all. Get a little bit closer. You could write some writing, but it needs to be quite thick. Indigo as close as I can get. So if you didn't like what you did, you can just go over it and rub it out as if it was a wax board, like we're in the Roman times. And you could go over it again. Or you could just simply colour in another part of your cross. Okay, so we've got that nice and thick, and you might decide that you want to do a love heart in this part. So you can use our sharp object to create some designs by scratching on the dark surface, and it will bring up the coloured surface underneath. You could, my goodness, this pen keeps going away from me. because several of them look the same. There we go. You could also make a pattern. So I quite like this checkerboard pattern that we've got going on over here. Now black of course would have been the most effective colour to use, but like I said, I don't know why, but I cannot find half of them because there are only 12 crayons here and the box says 24. What am I to do? So we'll colour this in. Once I'm happy with my colouring, I'm going to take my scissors. I'm going to cut it out. Now, to which I realised that my cross was nowhere near straight or 3D, but this is my cross to bear. This is how I've made it. So you could have this as a little memento, you could write what you're struggling about, and you could pray to God about it to give you strength to go through those things. And as school is coming back up, I'm sure many of you may be feeling anxious. Probably you're looking forward to going back to your friends, but it will come with its new issues because it won't be the same as we remember. So say a little prayer and have fun. Take care. Bye.